Steemit is about communication and connecting with the community. One of the best ways that we've seen lately to do that is with the new video called DTube, for decentralized tube, kind of competing with YouTube. Well, they've got a new version out. It's got some amazing features, and I had a chance to talk with Adrien, who is the author of this, the coder, put it all together, making the magic happen. We talked about censorship. We talked about some tips that you can use. This is really important for uploading your videos better and playing them, some real important topics, and some new options that we can put in there and more. Sit back and get ready to enjoy this as I talk to the creator, the programmer for DTube, and you learn how you can use this for more success in Steemit. Is an incredibly great way to get your message across. And now Steemit has its own video called DTube. And today we're really lucky. You are lucky because joining me on the other side of this recording is Adrien, who goes by Him in Danger. I love your name there. And Adrien, it is wonderful to have you here with us today.
Thank you for the invitation, Jerry. I'm really honored to be on your show today. And I hope we can have like a very positive conversation about DTube.
Absolutely. I love what you've done with that. And those of you that have seen DTube, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen it, hey, what are you thinking? Get over there and look at it. It's wonderful that we've all heard of YouTube, and we like YouTube. There's a lot of good to it, but also there's some challenges there. Of late, we're seeing it pop up many different places that YouTube has been doing what we know they can do on their own property. They can censor. They're doing that. But Adrien had a different idea. And he said the best way to do that is not complain, but to come up with something else, and he calls it DTube. Adrien, for those that haven't seen it before, tell us a little bit about DTube, what it is, how it relates to Steemit, and your thoughts on this whole concept of censorship.
All right. Well, I don't know if most of your audience knows about Steem. But Steem is a blockchain. Steem is a blockchain where you can put data and the data can never be deleted. In basically a blockchain, you can put data and it cannot be deleted ever. It's immutable, as they say. For people who know Steem, DTube is just basically enabling video on top of Steem. Instead of having like normal text articles, now you can just upload a video along with it and earn rewards, just like you earn rewards for your blog articles. People who are not into cryptocurrency, they might have a bit of problems to understand how it works at the start, but once you get in, it's fairly easy. Like we've seen on Steemit, there's a lot of different people, even old people, even young people, even women, even any type of religion, anybody can join DTube. The purpose of DTube is basically to enable people to post whatever they want without censorship and to earn rewards from it without advertisement. That's what it does right now.
Yeah, and you're doing a good job with it. I like the quality of material that's there, and it ranges from those that are just getting started to those that are giving us some really good information, and it's right there with Steem. Now, the beauty of that is with Steemit, it's not just somebody says, hey, I really liked your video, or yeah, thumbs up on that. You know, that's nice. But they actually give you Steem dollars. And those Steem dollars, of course, can be converted into other currencies. So bravo on that. Well, tell us a little bit about this idea. We've seen what YouTube is doing with censorship and what your feeling is on it. What if somebody puts material out there that that YouTube might censor? What are your thoughts on that?
I cannot control it. It's as simple as that. It's really hard for me to control it. I could make a blacklist, but it would require work, maintenance. I would need to update the website every time I want to block a video. It's not really doable. Right now, people, they post their videos. It gets on the IPFS network, which I don't control. And then it's published on the Steem blockchain, which I do not control either. So right now, the only way to control it is through the upvotes and the downvotes. If the downvotes are a bigger weight than the upvotes, then the video gets hidden. That's the only way we have to control right now.
Yeah, so in those that are just getting started in Steemit, you might not know there is the upvote, which then sends money to someone, but a downvote actually can take money from them, and it does cost you to put forth that downvote. Isn't that right, Adrien?
It's not really that it costs you. It's because from your upvotes, you can get some curation rewards. So if you're downvoting someone, you're not eligible for these curation rewards. So I think right now it's maybe one of the problems of Steam is that you cannot earn rewards from downvotes, because some downvotes, they can actually improve the quality of the content on Steam generally, and yet you cannot make rewards from it. So I think that's maybe a slight problem in the system, but it's not an easy one to solve.
Yeah, that's true. I was talking with my partner, Gina Carr, about that, and she was saying, yeah, but there's certain kinds of videos that we find abhorrent and repugnant. And I saw, a situation we face today is many of us really believe in free speech. We want that. And often the best argument for bad speech or terrible speech is more speech. And we think that. But then also there are certain types of videos that we would just find repugnant and would not want there. And most of them would be declared illegal in countries, and we would just personally find it revulsive. But I like your idea. You have created an environment where we can discuss this. And I think that's the best part. The best way to do it is let's have more discussion. Let's talk about it. Right now, you can downvote, which is a way legitimately you can deal with it. But those of you watching this, we would really welcome your comments. Let us know what you think. Keep it respectable. Keep it honorable. I think that's appropriate. And let us know. So, Adrien, I really commend you for what you've done. You've given us a platform where we can talk about very important issues and also be flexible, because we're constantly moving and changing on it. I see that happening as well. And matter of fact, I see you've just made some new developments on the program with the newest version of it. Tell us a little bit about some of the new features that we have in version 2.0 of DTube.
Actually, it's version 0.2.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm thinking 2. It's really good. But
I'm a very standard person in the way I name my versions. For me, version 1.0 will be the last version. It will be like gold version. So as long as we don't have version 1.0, you should still consider it kind of a beta. That's the word that new marketing people use. But basically in 0.2, it was focused on improving the speed and the loading of the videos because we had problems. It was new. I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. When I launched it 3 weeks ago, I had no idea if it would work. I thought maybe it would break with a lot of users, but it didn't. I observed the way the network was working, how the files were being propagated in the network, and I made some adjustments that made it better, in my opinion. Also, the person who hosts the video, the IPFS store website, who is basically a partner for DTube, he also made a bunch of changes, improved his servers, and is at least half responsible for the improvement in terms of performance right now. Also, in version 0.2, it's not really part of the app, but we included a download so that people can actually join the network and host the videos on their PC, so that they can download the IPFS software, which is not very easy to use right now, but we made it a bit easier for Windows users, and now they can download it, and it will connect to DTube, and it will show in the menu that you are connected to the IPFS network, and then any video you upvote, you will automatically start sharing it with the world.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to make sure that the videos don't get lost.
Yeah, that's good. Matter of fact, that reminds me, one of the things I think is the very best, I've even put out a video on DTube about this, and those of you watching this, you take a look at what's there. This is not available natively within YouTube, but I think it's one of the most important features, and that is the download button. You give us the opportunity to download a video that we like in an MP4 format. That particularly is exciting to me because it gives me the ability to play it then on another time, another location, and I use another player where I can adjust the speed. So I can move it up in different areas. Matter of fact, that's one thing. While I got you here, I would love to find out if there's a possibility that we could move it from something that YouTube has to, instead of just 1.0x, but maybe 1.25, 1.5, 2x, or even higher. Sometimes a spoken word is better when it's played a little bit faster, so that I could play a video that might be, say, 60 minutes in 30 minutes. Any chance that we might get something like that on DTube in the future?
Absolutely. It's not too hard. Actually, this feature is quite easy, in my opinion, to code. It's not too much work, but it will be part of a bigger block, which is what I call the custom player. We will need to make like a custom player, because right now the one we use is the default one. Actually, if you check on different devices, the video player won't look the same on every device. It's actually binded to your operating system. Depending on what operating system and browser you use, the video player will look different on DTube right now. But we plan to change that. We plan to have a custom player just like YouTube has, or Vimeo, or any video platform, so that we can integrate features such as playback speed, subtitles, and so on.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, because you hit on that next one that I'm thinking about. There is the subtitles. Often what I'll do over on YouTube, you and I were talking about this before we started recording, that Gina Carr and I, my partner, we like to sit and watch a lot of YouTube videos that are training videos, educational lectures and things like, I know we're kind of geeky and all that, but we'll listen to it at 2x, but also bring in the subtitles. And the subtitles that YouTube automatically has on there make it a little bit easier to understand what they're saying, particularly when we have other accents or they're talking about topics. You go, what in the world is that? And it's not perfect, but that's okay. And that would be a really nice feature to have in there, the subtitles. And of course, we get a chance to select from several different languages. And I appreciate you saying that there's a possibility we could do that. Is there a possibility we might see that in some future rendition of DTube?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's going to be a big update where we'll introduce a custom player and features like that. Any feature which should be inside the browser, such as changing the quality of the video and stuff like that. Basically, anything you see, any feature that you see which is inside the player for YouTube, I want to do it the same. I want to keep copying YouTube, because they know what they are doing better than I know. So it's better to follow as a guideline what YouTube is doing. So yeah, this will come as a big update, as a custom player, maybe in a month or something like that, maybe 2 weeks, a month. It depends, but it's priority kind of.
Yep, I think that's good. And by the way, those of you that are watching this, think about what we're doing here. You're in a new phase. This is a whole new tool. We're getting a chance to see it grow and build up. YouTube, I remember in 2006, when it was first out, it wasn't perfect either. There was a lot of glitches, and it gradually got better. And now it's, I don't think anything ever reaches perfection, but it's a good platform. And really appreciate, Adrien, what you have put in there and done with that and putting it together, which is, by the way, another thing I was going to mention. You talked about adjusting the quality of the video. On YouTube, you can do that if you're traveling a lot. Many of us do that. We know the vagaries of hotel Wi-Fi or wherever you're going, that sometimes it's just really pathetically slow. If you can adjust your video to maybe not quite as good a quality, but a little bit less, that tends to help also. And I think before we were recording, you and I were talking about something that would be very important. If somebody says, hey, I got this video and we've got 100 bazillion megabits per second download and upload at home, therefore I'm going to upload it in, say, 4K. Which would not be a good thing. Talk to us about the optimal way to connect and to communicate here with today's technology and what we should do.
Well, right now on DTube, like basically the people who are going to watch the video, they're going to see exactly the same file when you upload. On YouTube, it's not true. You upload the file to YouTube and they will make some kind of modifications to your file to make it optimized for everyone. Right now, we cannot do that on DTube because we don't have servers. So we would need to do that inside the app, and it's a bunch of work. But yeah, we can do it, right? But right now, the best strategy, if you're a content creator and you want to post your videos on DTube, my advice would be to maybe lower down the bitrate. I wouldn't recommend anything over 720p. 720p seems to work fine for me, but anything over that might get some buffering issues. And also, not every format works on DTube. It depends on the browser and the format. Like some formats will work well on Chrome, some will work well on Firefox. But as a general rule of thumb, H264 is the best encoding format, like MP4, H264. You will see that in your settings for your video encoding software, whatever it is, Sony Vegas or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. So those of you that are watching this, think about that. What you want to do is you might create a video and not understand, gee, I just put it together. I don't understand. I just upload it. How come it's starting and stopping so often? You know, it starts, then it stops. Well,
Yeah.
there's the reason.
That's the symptoms, yeah, of when people upload too high quality, that's the symptoms. It will just go and stop and go and stop and go and stop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously very bad for the user experience. That's why we need more features like YouTube. But eventually, I would love that we could like just downscale the video, no matter what the user sends. It should be downscaled for 720p and standard definition, like 480p, I believe it is. Yeah. Then it would be fine. Then we would be able to see if the video doesn't buffer, then we would go down to the lower quality. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then we keep going down and down and down until it works. And that's what YouTube is doing, basically. When a video doesn't load, they will automatically put you on a lower version. You probably experienced that in your hotel.
Very important. And so for those of you that are producing, and maybe you might not be the most technical expertise in video, that's okay. Try to find the settings, what you need to do. And set out, for instance, on the videos I produce, I use Camtasia for Mac. Using my Mac, and it's good. I've produced some videos, not even thinking about it. They came in and they were at really high bit rate and at 1080p or higher. And I realized, ooh, this was a little bit slow, et cetera. So I just had to go back, redo it again, and process it at the 720, maybe 480 or something like that. But find the settings that will work right for you. So that way more people can see your video and they'll understand more of what's possible with it.
Yeah. Also, there's like a slight time for propagation. Like when you upload your video, you might have noticed on DTube sometimes it won't work really well the first 10 minutes. It will be like, it just won't load for the first 10 minutes. That's because it takes time for the video file to go to the server where it is, then to go to the gateways and back and forth depending on how it works. Sometimes you can expect maybe 5 to 10 minutes for the video to be really watchable by people. So that's kind of annoying. You know, the new videos category on DTube, most of these videos, they won't load really quickly if they're like younger than 10 minutes. So, that's just a warning.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've noticed sometimes when it is uploading, right now we don't get the thermometer of percent processing like we do on YouTube. When we're uploading, we can look at it and go, oh, it's at 37%. Oh, that's probably going to be another 15 minutes or so. And I can see it. It would be nice to have something like that in there. Not a complaint, just hey, from a diehard user of DTube, it would be nice to have something like that in there as well.
Yeah, I know. That was supposed to be part of the thing when I launched it, but technical limitations because of the module, you know, the files they get sent on the IPFS network. And right now, the tool we use to communicate with the IPFS network doesn't support this feature. It's already an issue in their GitHub code. So I just put a thumb up on it and I can just wait for them to do some code. Otherwise, I will need to dig into it and do it myself, which is a possibility if they don't move too much. But well, we will see. I actually talked with them a bit on their IRC, so I'm pretty sure we can go forward. And they like DTube as well. Like the people from IPFS, they love DTube as well. It's a great project for them to show their network. It's actually probably the biggest project they have right now running on their project, on their network. So I'm pretty sure, like, if I ask them to do a few features and if I help them, if I tell them what are my priorities, I'm pretty sure they can focus on it as well, a little bit at least, because they also have a to-do list, which must be quite big.
Yeah, exactly. We all got those lists. And the thing is, the nice thing about it, it's software. So we know, hey, with software, we can code it in there. There's some brilliant coders like you who are working on these kinds of things. We can make that happen. And again, we really appreciate it. Let me ask you this also. If people are developing content, what types of content do you see generally tends to get more attention, more upvotes, and people pay more attention to it that you've seen so far from your point of view as the creator of DTube?
Right now, it's mostly vlogging. Right now, the content that seem to do the best, it's people who already have kind of a follower base on Steemit, right? Because I think a lot of the upvotes actually come from Steemit right now. People don't use DTube too much to upvote. But I want to change that. In the end, what I'm aiming for is the same content than YouTube. Well, apart from the censored one, of course, but I want the same content than YouTube plus the censored one. That's what I want on DTube. So anything, music, movie trailers, it can be vlogging, it can be documentaries, anything is fine for me. I mean, the more content, the more diversity, the better. I hold no grudge. myself. But I like music. Like if people put music on DTube, I will upvote it most of the time.
Yeah, very nice. Well, I think there's a lot of potential. One thing I think particularly interesting is DTube is written on the blockchain. And so it's a little bit different. Tell us a little bit, without getting too deep in the weeds on the technical side, advantages of doing it on the blockchain versus traditionally, say, on a website.
Yeah, instead of doing like in a normal database on a server. Well, the advantage is that Steam is immutable. Like if you put your video, and basically you don't really put your videos on the blockchain, you will put the link to your video, the link, the IPFS link to your video. And this link, once it's put on the blockchain, it's written. It's like it's written in stone. It's impossible to remove it. So, and because IPFS is a peer-to-peer network, well, in theory, as people can always access the Steam blockchain, get the link to the IPFS, which will never get deleted because it's peer-to-peer. It means you cannot delete the video. It's completely impossible. That's why blockchain is a really good combination with IPFS. I'm pretty sure many projects will keep using it. Actually, I don't even know why Steemit doesn't use IPFS for the pictures on their website yet. It would be really easy to implement for them, I believe. Maybe they believe there's some security risk or something. Maybe they're a bit lazy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a combination, but it's good. I like the idea that it's immutable. There's some real advantage to that. But for you content creators out there, here's one content creator to another. Be careful. One thing I did is I tried to change some features, some of the wording, and had some areas in there. Matter of fact, Adrien, you remember you and I were communicating about this, and I had one, and there was a lot of white space in there. It was because, well, I'm doing some editing on it, and somehow I thought I hit cancel. I might have hit submit, and when I hit submit, oops, there was no way to go back and change it. Yeah. And so it's like, that is one thing you go, ooh, okay, so for one content creator to another, all you wonderful content creators, check, double check, and then recheck before you hit any kind of submit button. There's advantages on that, but remember, it's blockchain. It's immutable. There's advantages to that. There could be some disadvantages if you make a mistake, but I think that overall it would be a good idea to keep in mind. How do you keep up with that yourself to make sure that when you're putting something out there on the blockchain on video that you've checked it to make sure it's okay? How do you do that, Adrien?
Well, I guess I just don't make mistakes, not yet at least. But yeah, there's no way. Actually, I didn't post any video on DTube yet, apart from my testing account. I don't know if I ever will, because I think this account I will keep using it for Steemit, for blogging. But yeah, it's sad, but right now there's no edit on DTube, and we don't plan to release it until at least a while. There's going to be like 1 or 2 more updates before the update, the edit function, I mean. Yeah. Right now, actually, if you post on DTube too fast and nobody has upvoted you, you can still delete the content from Steemit. If you have 0 upvote, you can actually delete the content from Steemit. But as soon as there is 1 upvote, you can't. All you can do is edit the content of the body.
Okay. Well, actually, if we know that going into it, we can operate a little bit better. We can figure, okay, don't worry about it. This is just the way that the rules are and the way they're, more than anything, the technology is. So it's got some advantages there, and just be aware of the conditions so that we operate accordingly. Well, Adrien, you have done a marvelous job with this. We are profusely grateful for what you've done. And matter of fact, all we got to do is read the comments that are on the posts that you have there. They are wonderful. There might be a couple little snide ones, but really people saying a lot. While you've got the floor here, I want to turn it back over to you before we leave and have you mention any pointers that you might want to leave, any suggestions, any comments that you want to give to the people who are using DTube. The floor is yours, sir. What would you like to let us know before you leave?
Well, I want people to to not be afraid, stop being shy. I think DTube is a fantastic opportunity to show yourself. Like on Steemit, there's a lot of problems, such as verification pictures. Sometimes it's hard to prove that you are the original content creator for what you are displaying, right? It's very hard. And you've probably seen many introduction posts where people will make a piece of paper and show it like that next to their face with their username written on it. Well, I believe this is like, maybe it was good like 10 years ago on internet, a good way to verify yourself. Nowadays, we have so many better tools. We have video. You can just make a video, show yourself and prove who you are. It's much easier. I think a lot of people are just being shy right now. A lot of people also are afraid of losing some followers by posting videos on DTube because they only have one Steemit account. For these people, if that's actually the case, and like me, they have a bunch of followers and they don't want to post some experiments on their blog, well, I suggest making a second account. It doesn't cost much. You don't even need to go through the registration process on Steemit. There's a lot of tools from which you can make accounts just by paying a bit of Steem. Right now, I believe you need to pay 6 Steem to create a second account. So most people have 6 Steem in their account, I believe. So that's a good way to do it. If you're shy, just make a second account and use a second account for DTube and use your first account for Steemit. The way things are not separated right now on Steemit and DTube, it's a problem, but I'm sure it's a problem that will be solved in the future. There's going to be more apps on top of Steem, and I don't think the Steem engineers, they want to keep it like that forever. If you read the news, they're talking about a community system, and that's probably what DTube will use in the end.
Yeah, that makes sense. And matter of fact, I think when you talk about the multiple accounts, I think of my friend Jeff Berwick down in Anarchapulco there in Mexico. He's got a couple of different accounts because he's got different interests. One area, it's a dollar vigilante. He's talking about finance and cryptocurrencies. On another one, anarchist, more philosophy. And then he does some personal ideas. So he has different channels to express those different areas of interest. And that would be something that each of us could look into to say, hey, I'm going to talk about woodworking over here, but I also want to talk about boating. So you have another one here on boating or whatever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want somebody who's interested, let's say somebody who follows me on Steemit was interested in technical talk. He would be interested if I posted music. I don't think that's the case. Like, somebody can like me for my coding blog, but they won't like me for the music that I produce. If I produce music, which is not the case. But yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So for all you divergent thinkers out there, you got a lot of different interests. That's good. Don't stifle it. Just create different silos. And DTube is a great platform to put that together.
I've seen a lot of people saying that multi-accounting is forbidden by Steemit against the rules. I have no idea where these people saw that, because it's not forbidden. You can make as many accounts as you want. Well, I know there's the one guy who made 1,000 accounts who is using it for bad things, but as long as you're not doing that yourself, you can have 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts, as long as you use them legitimately, and that you're not trying to hide it, as long as you're not trying to make a bot network to influence votes or blah, blah, blah. It's fine. You can do 5 accounts. Nobody is going to say anything.
That makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, before we let you go, how is the best way for people to get in touch with you? What way you and I have communicated over on Steam Chat? It's worked really well. What's the way that you would prefer people to get in touch with you if they got a quick question or they want to just give you a pat on the back and maybe some more upvotes?
Well, I think Steam Chat is the perfect place to reach me, because I'm on it every day almost. And I don't want to open too many things, I don't want to have to open like 10 different applications. I use Discord to communicate with people who are closer to the project. If you want, I can give you an invite to the private Discord, by the way. And that's about it. My email, people can find my email on internet if they search a bit. And that's about it. That's the only things that I'm going to check. I'm not going to communicate through any other transport.
Agreed. And in fact, that's a whole nother video that we could put together, communicating on various platforms. I got people communicating on Facebook, and then others that want to do it through Twitter, others through LinkedIn, others through email, others through Discord. It's like, wait a minute, I can't check all of this. Yeah. It's like, give me a couple. And so I think a good thing to do is find that one channel. And when we're talking about Steemit and we're talking about DTube, it makes a lot of sense to go over there to the Steemit chat, and we can reach you through your username there, which we have.
My username is the same. It's I'm in danger. It's exactly the same with an H at the start. HEIM in danger.
I'm in danger. Like I'm in danger, only with an H. The H in there, I'm in danger. Very good. Well, Adrien, really appreciate what you're doing on behalf of all the users of DTube and the fellow Steemians that are out there. We're reaching across. We're shaking your hand here virtually. They're there. We're shaking your hands and thanking you very much for what you've done. We're behind you. And for those of you that appreciate DTube, yes, let him know that you appreciate what he has done. Adrien's put a lot of time and effort and money into this to make it happen. Let him know that, and do it in a specific way, not just a thumbs up, not just a, hey, we thank you, upvote it. full 100% upvotes, those pay the bills. And that will be real important. You like what you're seeing? Put a few coins in there. It will be good. I'm a big believer in as you help others, it comes back to you as well. And that's just part of the karma there. So again, Adrien, thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. Merci beaucoup, as you think. I think you say that over in France, right?
Yeah, merci beaucoup, Thierry.
Yes,
Et à la prochaine, je suppose.
There we go. I think I've just reached almost the limit of my French knowledge there, but means I need to, Gene and I are going to have to get over to France sometime again and work on our French a little bit more then.
Okay, well, if you come by south of France one day, don't hesitate to send me a message. Maybe we can go for lunch or something.
Sounds like a good thing. Do they still serve wine in France? I don't know.
Oh yeah, of course we do.
Really good wine, but that's a whole other thing. Hey, those of you joining us, we really appreciate it. I'm Terry Brock, and I'm serious about this. Get over there and get to know DTube. You're going to like it. There's a lot of entertainment. There's a lot of education. You're going to see what's happening in the Steemit community in a wonderfully creative format called video. And now we can do it without the censorship that is experienced in other places. We've got it here. We need responsible use of it. And so I encourage you to get over there and do it. You can reach me at Terry Brock on Steemit. That's as one word. And of course, it's all in lowercase, Terry, and Brock is spelled the right way, Brock. So at Terry Brock, they're on Steemit. Thank you for joining us today. And I will look forward to hearing from you.
No problem. I'm going to update probably like next week. So just follow me on Steemit, and I will post updates for DTube regularly, probably every 2 weeks or something.
Sounds good. Well, we'll look forward to those future announcements that you have and future versions of DTube and using it right now. Thanks again, Adrien. And those of you joining us, thank you. We will look forward to hearing from you. Bye now.
Thanks a lot, Terry. Bye.